Happy Snow Day, Kentucky Go Digital. I hope you guys are enjoying this icy, snowy, cold day out there. And I'm so excited to welcome you guys to our 16th episode of Kentucky Go Digital Live. And this is our Series 3 on leading smarter, not harder with digital tools. So this is the second part to this series. And we have a wonderful team of leaders here with you guys today. But before we get started, I have to give a couple disclaimers. I know that Snowmageddon is happening across most of Kentucky, and I'm currently sitting in my bedroom with splashy Wi-Fi. My two children, I've threatened them within an inch of their life in the living room to not come in here and ask me for a gazillion different things, but you know how children are. So who knows what this episode is actually going to be like on my end. So just disregard and give all your attention to our wonderful guest that we have today on the show. So I want to say something else before I introduce our team. I'm going totally off script here because I know so many of you guys are on snow day. So we're going to sit right here, you guys, and we're going to wait for you to grab the link to this video and go share it on your Facebooks, on your Twitters, on the internets, because we want to have a party here on Kentucky Go Digital today. So I'm going to start to introduce our team, but we're going to wait for you to go grab the link and share it. So go ahead and do that. Awkwardly. I'm going to awkwardly stare at my camera until you grab the link and go share it. So we're talking morning announcements today with digital tools. And our first guest is Principal Kory Twyman from T.C. Cherry Elementary School in Bowling Green Independent Schools. Hello, Mr. Twyman.
Good morning.
How are you today, sir?
Well, how about yourself?
I'm doing great. And you guys, one of the things that I love about this work and connecting with really cool people all over the state. So Mr. Twyman and I have like a Hodgenville connection.
Yes.
And then we discovered just a minute ago that Mr. Twyman and Heather have a connection. That you went to school with Heather's husband, right?
Correct. Went to high school. Right.
So we're all just so super connected. I love discovering little bits. It's a small world after all. I'll save you the tune. I won't sing it, but we're all connected. I just love it. And Mr. Twyman is joined by his district technology resource teacher, Alan Martin. Hello, Alan Martin.
Well, hello, Brooke Whitlow, first and last name. How are you?
I'm good. Now, I've heard there's somebody special out there watching.
Oh, possibly. Hi, Mom. That's all my friends. My mom's watching, I hope. Actually, my wife might be watching.
Well, and she just got Google certified too, right?
Yeah, and
shout out to Jolene, baby.
May be certified in more than just one. I'm just saying. She had a really good weekend.
Nice.
Oh, I know you're super proud of her. And we are also joined by Mr. Twyman's technology specialist there at TC Cherry. He's also a primary teacher. Hello, Kyle Summers.
Hello, good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So do we have a snow day over there in Bowling Green? Is it snow day there?
Very much so.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think most of the state.
We got one.
I know. That's why I was asking. I know.
Friday and today. We don't get that very often.
Yeah. True. We might be going to school until like July at this rate. I don't know. Okay. So our other guest is from Thomas Nelson High School, Courtney Newton. Welcome, Courtney. She is the assistant principal there. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. Thank you. I'm glad we have this neat opportunity to connect on this snowy day today.
I know we are going to have a party out there today in Kentucky Go Digital Land. So we're going to. Oh, you know what? I forgot to mention our amazing Kentucky Go Digital team. You guys, I forgot about you. I was having so much fun with our guests. So we have Courtney DeRosset over there in Floyd County, who is not on a snow day, unfortunately. Bless her. She is the CIO for Floyd County Schools. Hello, Courtney.
Hello, everyone.
We have Heather Worrell. She is the digital learning coach for the Office of Education Technology at KDE. Hello, Heather.
Hey, everyone. So glad to be here.
we have Elaine Abanatha, Technology Integration Specialist in McCracken County Schools. Hey, girl.
Hello, Kentucky.
All right. So I'm so excited to get started. In my role as a technology education teacher at East Hardin, formerly a few years back, morning announcements was something that I struggled with and didn't really have a good flow for, but it's something that every single school deals with. So I'm really excited to learn about these systems and kind of look at the different ways that you guys are showcasing these. So with that being said, I'm going to toss it over to you, Mr. Twyman, and let you share about your system.
Okay, wonderful. And first of all, want to mention, I think one of my former students, Chase Goff, is actually out there listening and paying attention. Saw that he retweeted some about the episode today. So glad to have one of my former students. The great things he's doing at Smyrna High School.
After all,
it is crazy, all the connections. Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for having us on. This has been quite a little bit of a trip for us and a great learning experience implementing Google Hangouts for our morning announcements. And we actually had been doing for many years at our school, but even before I came here, every morning we've been doing a morning assembly. And we would get everybody in the gym, and we would do the pledge. We did a song every morning, and then we'd say our mission statement and go over any announcements that we had for the day. Then we'd leave and get back down to class and get our day going. And so, but as you do things, you tend to get a little stale and get in a rut. So trying to figure out different ways to do things. So I feel like with using the Google Hangouts, we were able to do some important things. And first of all, our teachers, as we know, all educators, the one thing we need more of in classroom is time. And that's one of the issues that we were facing. How can we get more time of instruction with our students? So that kind of led us also to making the change to only doing morning assembly one day a week, and really trying to make that big and over the top, make it a great learning or great time for our kids and for our students, staff, and everybody involved. So how are we going to, but we wanted to keep the community, all of us kind of doing the similar things in the morning, getting our day started together. And so when we originally started with this, we wanted to use our overhead announcements and our intercom, and which was fine, but everybody around our neighborhood could hear our morning announcements each day. And so, but we were utilizing it, and all of a sudden one day our overhead stopped working. I mean, we could not make an announcement. Our intercoms just quit. And that's when Kyle kind of came to me and said, hey, we've got this other thing that we can use to implement morning announcements in our school. And that's where Google Hangout came in. And he said, what if we give this a try? And so Kyle did a lot of legwork in getting everybody's computer set up. We went through during one of our staff meetings and tried to teach everybody how to utilize Google Hangout, what it was going to look like. And it was definitely a work in progress, and still is in some respects. But I think our teachers over time have really grown to utilize it and understand it better. And we're at, some of our classes have actually utilized it in other ways, connecting with other schools. So, the use of Google Hangout has been really nice. So if it's okay, I want to share my screen and just kind of show you some things that we utilize. So we use our Google Drive, and Kyle's actually set up a team drive for us that has all of our morning announcement information here. So it's got all of our, each day we do a different song. So Monday is our Star Spangled Banner. So it has the pledge, So I'll share my screen, and we'll do the pledge, and then we've got the song. He actually imported the music onto SoundCloud, and that's how we get the music to come across through our Google Drive. And then after we do the song, we do this together, then we have our mission statement that we all say at the end. And that's kind of our, after that's done, then we have some announcements that we'll utilize. And so I've kind of, when we do this, we actually have students who are up here and actually do this, go through the announcements and lead it each morning. So this is not just an adult-led situation that we have all the products that we need, but our students actually do this, and then they'll go through and make any of our announcements to all of our students and staff. So that's kind of how we have the infrastructure built for our school. And so Kyle, do you want to add anything with that?
Kyle,
Sure,
I'm gonna need you to let us know what SoundCloud is. I'm not sure what I know what that is.
SoundCloud is like it's an online hub for music. You can put all sorts of stuff on there. I don't want to say it's like an iTunes store of sorts, but there's a lot of music online that you can already find. You can make accounts. If we were doing like school plays or presentations, we would go ahead, because we use a Chromebook to run our music instead of a CD player anymore. I could upload the whole playlist into SoundCloud, and we could play it straight from the Chromebook instead of going back and forth to a CD player and doing it there. So it's just like an online hub or the cloud for music. It's pretty neat. And that's just one of the downfalls of Google Slides, which there's not many compared to, say, PowerPoint, is you couldn't import music right directly into it. So that was the workaround we found, was go to SoundCloud and use a link, and it just hops right on and automatically plays. So that was pretty neat. And that just took training. Just the big part for me, and I'll share my screen really quick, that I did was just teacher training. My big thing was I've got to get my teachers believing in it. So what I did was I tried to make some how-to videos, tutorials, which they could find on my site and go to YouTube and find it, teaching them that way. And the other big thing was showing them, I'll present this really quick, trying to make it easy to, like, they said, well, Kyle, what if I don't see the announcement? Well, I'd show them, if they're on their screen and they click here and go to their options, they can go to, something right here. It would say enable transparent UI. Well, what that does is it makes Hangouts appear as a little dot on their screen. So the whole time that they're on there, they'll see everything. So if I message them, it would just pop up with my face, and they could be doing their own thing, teaching their lessons, and they wouldn't miss anything. So that was the big thing, helping them, making them realize, hey, this is pretty easy, and they could do it. My back now. There we go. So just a lot of training, a lot of hand holding in the beginning and support, and now it's trying to make it one of those things that they can't live without. Like if it goes down, they're like, where is it? I need it. The same thing would have happened in the past when we first got our InterWrite boards, and they're like, what is this new thing? And now they can't live without it. So it's just been integrating the new tool. And like Mr. Twyman said, there's a lot of growth that we see that we can do with it. A lot of places we can grow. But my big thing was just hand holding and making sure I taught my teachers a new tool that they could use.
Awesome.
I have a question coming in from Katie Newton in Hardin County. She is a library media specialist at J.T. Alton. And her question is, when you use Google Drive for announcements, are you utilizing the intercom system to whole school, or do the teachers just do the announcements themselves in their classrooms?
No, we do the announcements whole school. We do it actually through the Google Hangout. So through with my camera, the students are here with me. And so I've got a Chromebook that we utilize to show the announcements. It's got kind of the script for the students to use, and it's playing actually through Google Hangout. All of my teachers will join our call, and so all of our announcements and everything that we're doing is actually coming through their InterWrite board. It's not coming through the phones or the intercom system. So it's actually coming through their computers, their InterWrite boards.
I may be jumping the gun, but do you share these announcements with parents or anything so that they can see this Hangout live also?
We have not. Opened that up, and I don't really know. And this may be a question that Alan can answer. I don't know how much our parents have available to be able to access that.
I mean, yeah, anybody with the link could be able to access it. We hadn't really thought about that. That's a good question. It's something to, a lot more parents are using the internet now, so that's a good question. Of course, the big thing is, when we're using students' names and a lot of information, we're always cautious not to share too much of that information. So that's a good thought.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about utilizing it that way.
First of all, shout out. I wish you guys could see all the chat. We have 72 people viewing in now live. So much good chatter over here about SoundCloud and what's free and patriotic songs. And it's just really, really awesome to see all the collaboration and ideas flowing on the live chat. But just because I'm a logistical person, I need to know. So is this Google Hangout link? Do you email it out to teachers? Is it linked in your digital infrastructure? Is there a certain time of day they all click the link? Like, roll out some logistics to principals who are like, that's a great idea, but they need step-by-step. How would they do this?
Actually, I've set up on our Google Hangout, I've got all of our staff. So I actually make the call. We start our Google Hangout at 8:10. That's when our day officially begins. So I'll make a call at about 8:05 or so to all of our staff. We have a morning assembly message. So I'll make the call to them at 8:05. That way we can begin. Everybody can click in, get ready to go. And so
Kory, when you say you make the call, do you get on the intercom and say, welcome everyone, please click on the link? What do you mean when you make the call?
No, I do a Google Hangout phone call, just like
okay, so you literally video call.
Yes, I do a video call with everybody. Yes, ma'am. So we do that at 8:10, and that's just really a signal for our school day to officially get started, and that kind of gets teachers. They've got about 20 minutes in the morning from the time that they get their students until our official day begins, where they're doing, students are writing in journals, they're doing different activities in the classroom. They may be pulling small groups of students during that time, but we just know we don't start anything brand new. And this just kind of gets everybody back together, understanding that this is our time to get our day started. And typically, it's about a 5-minute phone call by the time we go through the pledge, the song, our mission statement, and then any announcements that we have. So it's really not a time-consuming thing, but it is an opportunity for all of our staff. Even though we're not looking face-to-face, we're all doing it together at the same time.
And Heather's point's pretty good. The one thing I know, some of my schools use it differently. So some put it in their calendar. You can put a link in your calendar. I don't know if people know about that. Also, we have a lot of principals using Google Sites as their information station. So they can put the link there. You can email it. I mean, the nice thing about Google is there's all kinds of different ways. So whatever the principal's workflow or whatever the teacher of the school's workflow would be, it all works wonderfully. And while I'm talking, I just want to give a shout out to SoundCloud. She asked about SoundCloud. You can check out Alan Said's Technology Adventure. Me and one of our assistant principals at the high school, we've been doing a rockin' podcast. So just a shameful plug there. So shout that out a little bit.
I actually listened to a couple of your episodes the other day at the recommendation.
You're just
Face
saying
golf. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I listened to it. It was funny. You always make me laugh, Alan Martin. I'm just saying.
Of course.
So, Kory,
so we're talking about, just real quick, Heather, before I forget, otherwise
yeah, I've got a question on standby, so go ahead.
Okay, so we're talking about like SoundCloud and stuff, and I saw a message. James Allen was talking about looking for free music in the Creative Commons music library on YouTube, which is great too. But something else, I'm going to screen share with you guys real quick on here. So let's see. You can see my screen? Yes?
Oh, well.
You're all good.
No. Okay, sorry. Okay. So this is an add-on that was just released by EdTech team. It's called Audio Player for Slides, and this allows you to play audio files while presenting a Google Slides presentation. So just another tool out there that was just released a few months ago that not a whole lot of people know about yet. I just discovered it myself. So put that in your toolkit as something. This was a huge need for me, as being able to play music inside of Google Slides, and this add-on will allow you to do that. So you can just search for Audio Player for Slides, and that's in the add-on menu. You can just go up here to add-ons, get add-ons, and then you can search for the audio player in that. So just another kind of music tool for you guys out there.
That looks awesome. Way to go, Brooke.
Using that tool.
Good call.
Just saying, just another thing. Okay, Heather, I'm on mute. You go ahead, girl.
Real quick, tech tool, moving on to a principal question. So 72 people watching, highest rated show of all time. Our goal was 30, so now we're up to 74 as I'm talking. So awesome. Two principal questions real quick. Shout out to all the JCPS principals who are here today. I think this is the first time we've ever had a JCPS principal be able to attend, and so many of you, so huge shout out to that crew. Glad you can make it. So first question comes from a JCPS principal, my homegirl, Julie, at Eisenhower Elementary. She's a rock star principal. Her question was, Kory, does that 20 minutes count towards your instructional time? And then I have one more question from Dr. Parsons of Brown School. So let's start with that question from Julie first.
It does not. This is just, I would consider our school of poverty. I mean, we have about 75% of our kids who qualify for free and reduced lunch. And so anytime that we can get extra time with our students, our doors open at 7:20. We have teachers that open up their classrooms at 7:30 to pull kids down to start working. So anytime that we can get our students in their classrooms doing extra instruction, whether it counts as the instructional time or not, we utilize that time. But our official times are 8:10 to 2:45. But we do try to do some small group instruction. Kids having problems with homework or some enrichment type activities with the students as well.
All right. So the other question is a technical question. And Elaine, I don't know if you all realize this, but so much of the work that goes on behind the scenes with Kentucky Go Digital, all of like the cameraman stuff and getting the links ready and downloading the videos. And Elaine does so much work behind the scenes that often goes unrecognized. So I just want to take a moment to give her a big shout out. None of this could happen. I think we're up to like 550 subscribers without her behind the scenes, making things happen technically with our show. So huge shout out to Elaine Abernathy. So I'm going to pitch you this question, Elaine. It comes from Dr. Parsons. She is the principal at Brown School. I'm a big fan of hers. She wants to know, could you tape the Google Hangout and have a link for teachers to play later if you wanted?
Wow, that's an awesome question. And Heather, you're too kind, but thank you very much. That's very sweet. So to answer that question, absolutely, you can. We have a show that actually my superintendent, Mr. Brian Harper, he did, and he is using that Google Hangouts Live, very similar to what we're doing now. And you could do that, but then share that link then later on so that they could watch it later. So if you'll go back and watch that show, it will help you learn how that process goes. But that's a great idea, definitely, to prep prior and then share it out that way. Yes.
And Heather, this is Alan. we've been using YouTube Live to do that. I also have teachers create lessons kind of in the flipped environment, so it works beautifully. They're able to include document cameras to it, so yeah, YouTube Live is great. You can absolutely record things. It's amazing.
Kind of to go along with what you are talking about, collaborating and getting things prepared, Allison Langley joined in and was talking about working with elementary and high schools, and she talked about playing their fight song with their feeder schools and making sure that those things are consistent. So when you think about sharing your links, maybe if all the principals knew what everyone was sharing, it would help everyone network and build that community even stronger. So Allison, thanks for chiming in on the chat, and I appreciate that tip of the fight song being filtered on through and sharing those that information with all the schools so you're all on the same page.
I have a quick question too about the Google Hangout announcements. Are other teachers or classrooms able to join in on the Hangout that you have for your announcements? Let's say that a teacher wanted to announce something special or they want to do something fun. Can they join in live on that as well?
They can. And as a matter of fact, there have been times where normally the Google Hangout will originate with me, but if I have a parent meeting or something like that comes up, then I can contact Mr. Summers. He's usually the kind of our next person in line that will conduct the Hangout for everybody. But yes, if they've got now, I will say that not all of our classrooms have the cameras, so they would have to have a camera to be able to do something and show something within their classroom. If they had that, then yes, they could be the ones to do that. So it doesn't have to be just one place. It can be done, any of our classrooms, because that's one of the things that Alan and I were talking about, is maybe having an opportunity as we move forward with this, having classrooms to lead the song instead of just having a couple of students up here, which we're doing for student leadership jobs. But yes, it has a lot of different capabilities as long as you have all the like the camera. They can lead it easily.
Love that, Kory. That way you could have like a spotlight class. You could
absolutely,
have
yes.
show off. That's awesome. You could even rotate that camera around if you need to, but that's a great idea. Look, you're even growing while we're on here. I love it. Love it.
I was thinking too, our superintendent has occasionally used Google Hangouts to talk to staff members, but heck, he could join in. He could even lead the Star Spangled Banner one day, maybe. I'm thinking he could be in his office singing the national anthem, and that's a good idea. I hope he's watching.
Shout out to your superintendent too, Gary Fields. He's one of the few Google certified superintendents in the state. So that's really cool to see a superintendent really invest in those tools. So,
and I would say that is one of the things that we're very lucky at in our district. Mr. Fields is a big proponent of Google and has really kind of transformed how our central office uses it, and it is rewards and really innovation in our district and people utilizing different tools. So we're very lucky in that respect that he pushes us to try to do different things with Google.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna be like the ESPN guy and like hit the buzzer. So okay. we're gonna buzzer over to the to our next guest, Courtney Newton from Thomas Nelson High School. And if you guys have any questions out there for Mr. Twyman and Alan, I mean maybe not Alan, but Kyle,
Mr. Martin.
If you have any questions for the Bowling Green team, just toss them in the live chat and we will get those answered at the end. But we are going to transition over and we're going to talk about a different digital system for morning announcements with Courtney at Thomas Nelson. So Courtney, girl, take it away.
All right. I'm going to screen share it for a minute here. That way you all can see what I'm talking about. So we also did a lot of exploration about building student capacity and different ways to do that with announcements. And one way that we've done that is through Flipgrid. But we had to do a couple of things to lead up to that point. So just to kind of rewind a little bit, when we're thinking about building student capacity, we're thinking about these employable skills. So we know that the economy is changing, education is changing, and what we need to do to prepare students for that is also changing. But what we also know is when you research what skill sets that employers are wanting. They're wanting collaboration, organization, communication, and flexibility. So we've kind of utilized our morning announcements as a smaller system to help our students prepare to do that. So we have our Living Leader calendar, which I know a lot of you all have seen before through, I think Wes might have talked about this. I know Heather has shown this at a lot of schools across the state. And this is really where we started to build capacity of leaders to give out more traditional announcement information, such as when sports games are, club meetings, etc. So now our main information, such as announcements, are done through the Living Leader calendar that everybody has access to. But we also have a morning jolt of creativity, and that's through our Ignite process. So you'll see where it says a teacher's name and then Morning Ignite. That means that their Care and Connect is responsible for filming an Ignite for that day. So to give you some context for that, every one of us starts our day with about 18 to 20 students in their Care and Connect. And that's just a time for us to work on that community building. So I want to show you all what that looks like for us, the Flipgrid. This is an opportunity for our students to work together to figure out what they want to film. And sometimes these Ignites they go along with like a larger school theme, but other times they're just something, random and fun and energizing for the day. So I wanted to show you all an Ignite that my Care and Connect did. Let me pause that for a second. So they felt really passionate about just doing something fun. They wanted to remake some vines. So I'll show you what this is. A student from my Care and Connect filmed it, another one planned it, and another one edited the film as well. So this is all student-led here.
I love myself. Even though I look like a burnt chicken nugget, I still love myself. What are you? I'm a chicken nugget. Road work ahead. I sure hope it does.
So as you can see, that's just something that's fun that our students are working on. Just a little jolt of creative energy that we have provided students opportunities to collaborate with one another and share as well.
So Courtney, okay, so burnt chicken nugget, like I think we're all just kind of sitting here like, what? So they, in Once Upon a Time, so for those of you who don't know, Courtney and I worked together at Thomas Nelson. She actually took my place when I left Thomas Nelson and joined KDE. So she's the vice principal there now. She was formerly one of our AP psychology teachers, right? Psychology, did I get that right, Courtney? Yes. So she works with Mark Webster and Wes Bradley on the team now. And previously, we had done morning announcements on Google Slides. And a lot of you across the state, I've shared how to use Google Slides and to kind of crowdsource your announcements. But this year, through this new advisory program, which they call Care and Connect, they wanted to give the kids an opportunity to have like a creative outlet. So the teachers go to the Living Calendar and click the link and play that for all the students. And it's almost like a little competition between the advisories. So what were your girls talking about? Like, talk to us about what was there, where they were trying to reinforce the school values, take care of yourself, take care of each other, take care of this place. Do you have any other examples you could show us?
I do have some other examples. Really, the Ignite is just meant to be a creative jolt. It's just meant to, add some energy to the day and have the students have a little bit more voice in how we start our mornings. So that particular video was a bunch of vines that my girls in my Care and Connect thought were hilarious, which I've never seen any of those vines, but they loved them. So that's why they did that video as well. But we have some other things going on, like here is another Care and Connect, and they use the Ignite to advertise for, let me screen share first, for a toy drive that was coming up. So sometimes it goes along with school-wide events as well. So here is.
Get a little bigger too, and maybe turn it up so we can see it. So these are all the different Ignites here that you link into the Living Calendar from all the different advisories, which you guys call Care and Connect. I got to kind of like define these words for everyone. So just pick another one so we can see this.
So I will pick just a random one here. This is one for, I think, a toy drive that we had back in November. So I'll make that a little bigger. That way you all can see it.
better. You will not be getting them back. This is a generous donation. If you would like to drop off a stuffed animal, bring it to Miss Rucci's room. Have a very good day. Take care of yourself, each other, and this place. Go Generals.
So you can see that one. Of course, we always end with take care of yourself, each other, this place as a reminder for the students. But that one was more of like an announcement for something that Care and Connect wanted to do. But each and every one of these Ignites are very different. They get teachers involved. There's been rap battles between different Care and Connects. That's another one that my Care and Connect did. They did a rap battle with another Care and Connect. So there's all kinds of neat things that have evolved out of this. We've got an announcement for Rush. That's something we do with student organizations. I can play that for you all as well. So again, a random video, but we use that as a way to announce things that were coming up and build some energy around that.
Courtney, I'm just thinking about if I'm a student in your school and I get to start my day doing something like that, and I can connect that with what you all are teaching and what I'm supposed to be doing, and then I can view all of my peers and their announcements. And if I had a question, I see their face in Flipgrid. I can go and ask them at lunch, or I can ask a teacher that may be talking about it. What are some other, like, I know you're showing us some announcements. What are some other ways you all use Flipgrid in your school and different way to get everyone ignited and excited?
So something else that I've actually been working on this week is getting homecoming nomination videos on Flipgrid. We've had a lot of snow interruptions, and so normally we would have them fill out a bio, but the kids said, you know what, let's do a Flipgrid video instead. So I'll just show you on my phone here. So I've got the Flipgrid app, and for any one of our homecoming nominees to submit their video for why they should be voted for homecoming, all they have to do is download the app as well. And then once they're on the app, there is a Flipgrid code, and so the student will type that in, and here you can see so far we've got 9 students that have recorded their homecoming nominee videos. So I've got some of our student organization council officers working on that today as we speak. They are getting phone numbers of students and reaching out and having them upload their videos so we can do voting. So that's something else that we use Flipgrid for. Additionally, the student organization council has used it to advertise for things like our Rush, which is where student organizations and clubs recruit new members to their organizations as well. So there's a lot of uses for Flipgrid, and really we're still trying to figure out what else we can do with it.
I was just getting ready to chime in when Courtney started talking a second ago. Like Flipgrid keeps coming up in our conversations because there are so many incredible ways to utilize this tool. We talked about Flipgrid with Melody Stacey a few weeks ago. I think maybe late November, December. About how she uses Flipgrid with her staff. And I know she just popped in the live chat too with, how she was going to take this idea away for even more uses for Flipgrid. So it just brings that personal connection, I think, where the kids are getting to know each other and they're seeing faces, and there's just so much personalization to using Flipgrid for these options. So I love it. Now, Courtney, I know that you wanted to talk a little bit about your digital, Elaine, did you have a question? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. You go, girl. Go ahead and ask.
You're okay. I just wanted to jump in. Normally, I always worry about, we always want to support the kids that wouldn't normally just go and be on stage or do something like that. And I think Flipgrid is maybe that one little piece that gets those kids that would not get involved. And I love that you guys are doing that at Thomas Nelson. Awesome. Love it, Courtney.
And they can, you have the option to retry. You can record it and then you can say, nope, I don't like that. Let's do it again. And then you've got the time limit. So it's sweet and to the point. Yeah, Elaine, I'm with you that the student that may be nervous about getting up there, they can, really polish that piece for that, for that short amount of time and put it out there. Sorry, Courtney, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You go.
Oh, you're fine. I was just getting ready to say I've seen one student in particular, my Care and Connect, who is very reserved and very introverted. She's taken the role of editing the videos and posting them on Flipgrid. So we were able to see a strength that she has come out that we weren't aware of, and she's actually really good. She's done a lot of videos for us. So it just is another opportunity for us to build capacity within students to do that collaboration and find out what they're good at and think about how they can apply those skills in the future.
I love
Can I chime in real fast, because this is for Jeff Cebulski. I feel him, Jeff Cebulski, sitting on my shoulder, because that's our end game. I mean, we talk all the time about how adults are using these digital tools, and we know it starts at the top with the superintendent and the principals and then the teachers. But our end game really through all this work is that kids in Kentucky are getting to create and innovate with digital tools. So I love it that you're talking about kids creating and making and editing, and Jeff Cebulski would be very proud. So shout out.
And Heather, I think too, both of our guests today have that component built into their structure. You know, I mean, there was some chatter going on the live chat about, you know, having spotlight classrooms with Google Hangouts and, you know, having the kids involved in that component. And I know there was somebody, I think from Chancey Elementary on the live chat, who was talking about the pros and cons of Google Hangouts versus YouTube Live. And I just wanted to reiterate to our viewers out there that we have some live episodes that talk specifically about that. And so definitely check out our create playlist for support on some of those things. We'll be adding to that later, but there's some episodes that can support you in that Google Hangout kind of adventure. And I wanted to shout out to East Hardin Middle School, Brittany Nichols, the principal there, and they have a really nice morning announcement system too, utilizing YouTube Live. So it's just another piece of this puzzle, and how, you know, the students actually, they report live from different classrooms, and it's kind of like their STLP technology leadership kids who are doing that. So the whole time Mr. Twyman was talking, I was thinking about, you know, Brittany and her teacher Paula there, who did morning announcements via YouTube Live as well. So just lots of really great ideas. And so if you're still watching with us out there, we have some bonus content for you on today's episode. We're going to talk a little bit about some digital structures. And Courtney, I know you wanted to share a little bit about some of your digital infrastructures from a student perspective. You want to take it over, girl?
Yeah, so kind of going off of what Heather was just saying, you know, our main focus is trying to build capacity of students, and we found a lot of digital tools and infrastructures that we can use to build those systems. So I wanted to share a little bit of that on a larger scale. So I showed you all how we are building capacity of students on our small scale with the announcements, but I also wanted to share how we're doing that on a larger scale with student leadership classes. So I'm going to share my screen, that way you all can see that. So again, we're thinking about the future that we need to create for students, and with that comes a lot of student leadership opportunities. So we have a couple of student leadership classes. One is the House Stewards, and the other one is the Student Organization Council. And this summer, when we said, okay, we're going to start to make this a class, we really want to dedicate our resources towards this, we had to figure out what on earth that looked like, because it wasn't going to be a normal class. It wasn't going to be, you know, here's a learning target for the day, this is what we're working on. It wasn't going to be a book study about leadership, but it was an opportunity for students to really learn leadership by doing. So with that, we had to build several different systems to build capacity of that. So we have a couple different things we use Google for, and all of these are done on like a weekly or a daily basis of cleansing these systems here. So one thing that we do is called the Morning Cup of Joe. That is a Monday meeting, well, usually Monday unless it snows, that we have to build capacity for student leadership. And those look like systems for communication to school and community. So I'll show what that looks like. So every week, students are going on to that slide, and they are cleansing updates that they have. So we have a student officer council, SOC officer who is doing public relations, and she will take these and good news that the students have put on these slides, and she'll use it on our SOC Twitter account. She will put it on the Living Leader calendar as well, and so does our press secretary, so that the rest of the school is aware of what's going on with the different sports and clubs, and also it's an opportunity for them to celebrate one another. So that's one of the digital infrastructures that we use for transparency with communication, having students collaborate in that way. We also use this as a hub for protocols. So I could lead all the small groups if I wanted to, but that's not really teaching any of the students what the tools they need to do to lead on their own. So we have protocols that we have in the presentations, that way that students can go and they can help each other. So here's an example of this. This is something that we are going to start on this Friday, something new for us. So as we were going on with the class, we quickly figured out that some of our students were really getting very good at some components of our systems, our digital infrastructures, while other students needed some help with different ones. So we used a Google form and took a survey of what they felt their strengths were and what they felt they needed help with. We identified students who said, yes, I'm good at community partnerships, or I really excel at Blogger. Then we had students sign up for sessions and write their questions down. That way students can help each other grow in that way. So again, another way to help build student capacity for learning in that. We also are using Google Sheets for financial transparency. So you'll see on here that every student organization and sport that we have has a tab on this worksheet, on this Google Sheet rather. And this is where they are going through and they are keeping track of incoming money, outgoing money, how much they have. So this is an example of our bowling representative's Google Sheet. And she's also our SOC CFO, our Chief Financial Officer. So her role is to help other students come up with fundraising opportunities. And you can see at the beginning of the year, she started out with $179 in her organization account, and now she's up to over $2,000. And part of that reason is, well, one, she works really hard to make sure that her organization has money for the tournaments they want to enter, but also because she has transparently budgeted money and talked with her coaches and done some financial planning to make sure that her organization's in a good spot to achieve what they want to. So again, this is a system that we have using digital tools, but that students are managing themselves. They know how much money is in their account. Their coaches know how much money is in their account, and they're able to be more proactive with the fundraising part of that. We also have community partnerships as a part of the Student Organization Council. So each student organization has a community partner. And here on this Google Sheet, we have a lot of transparency around who is serving, when they're serving, what parts of the county are we serving and connecting with. That way, our SOC officers can discuss in their small groups different opportunities for growth with that. Another tool we have is, again, using digital tools, is thinking about constant feedback for students. So they all sign up for a presentation called Paper Ceiling Presentations, and that presentation is an opportunity for them to showcase a new idea and to get feedback for that. So we utilize these digital structures to organize when they're presenting and also transparency with their action steps here. So you can see so far in January, 3 students have presented on a new idea. They got feedback from their peers, and then they committed to a few action steps that they can utilize to move their idea forward. We also have some digital tools that we're using to build capacity with students on their own. So what I just showed you is more of the Student Organization Council as a whole, things that we work on. But this is more for that time where they are getting 60% to work on their individual student organizations. So I want to show you what those look like.
Yeah, and Courtney, also, so Dr. Amy Allen, who is the principal at Glasgow High School, she wants to know, where is all this information housed? So all of these systems, she wants to know where they connected together. And I know the answer, but I want you to answer for her.
Yes, absolutely. So we have blogs that we use to connect all that information for the SOC, but we also have it on their MDC slides, which is right here. So I know those look like a lot of systems, and they are a lot of systems because there's a lot of moving pieces with the Student Organization Council. They have access to all of these right on their MDC, and they also have access to all of these on their individual blogs. Here's the SOC blog. So we have our information here. And let me show you another blog. This is for our SOC president. This is her student organization blog. And this is the way that she is communicating with the sponsors, with the teams, with the coaches, and also the outside community as well. So you can